What's going on, guys? Soldier Only here for Sports Nerd Web with today's edition of the Daily Dose. We're just getting started. What I wanted to talk about today on today's edition of the Daily Dose is the current state of console generations. Uh, in recent times, we are starting to see that line between console generations start to blur. We've been seeing it with the PS4, PS4 Pro, and pretty soon later this year we're going to be seeing it again with the Xbox One and the Xbox Scorpio that's actually supposed to be launching sometime in the holidays of this year. So it's obviously a topic that has been gaining steam lately, and obviously it's going to be gaining a lot more steam as we get closer to the Scorpio launch, especially actually once we get closer to E3, because E3 in June, Microsoft is heavily rumored to be finally showing a lot more on the Scorpio. We recently finally did get the official specs of the Scorpio, which are intriguing to say the least. If the Scorpio is in fact the specs that they said, this thing is going to be a monster. It's going to even blow the PS4 Pro out of the water. As you may or may not know, I did upgrade to the PS4 Pro about a month ago, and from the games that I've played on it that have had patches to to upgrade it, I have seen quite a big difference. Even from the PS4 Pro to the PS4, the regular PS4, there's quite a big improvement there as well. The graphics, the GPU in the PS4 Pro is twice the size of the one in the standard PS4. Homicide Lou says graphics will reach further as far as console generations are concerned. I know. I'm so stoked for that to see to see what these future consoles have in store. Especially like I'm saying right now with the Scorpio. Like I was saying with the PS4 Pro, I see quite an improvement over the standard PS4, and now the Scorpio is actually supposed to blow even the PS4 Pro out of the water. So it's going to be awesome to see. Hopefully at E3 in June we'll finally get to see some games, like some actual gameplay running on Scorpio. We know that developers already have Scorpio dev kits. There was actually some images leaked not that long ago online of Scorpio dev kits. Now this isn't the exact console that we'll see. We still don't know what that looks like. But there was images of the dev kits that the developers are working with right now, and it was funny because they actually look pretty identical to the Xbox One S right now, and I wouldn't really be upset. I wouldn't be upset if the Scorpio looks a lot like the Xbox One S. I actually like how the Xbox One S looks. Homicide Lou says I'll have to look into the Scorpio. Yeah, it's I can't really remember them off the top of my head, but uh, just Google like Scorpio specs, and yeah, just take a look at some of the specs that the Scorpio is going to be rocking. It's obviously the one number that everyone's hearing thrown around is the 6 teraflops or whatever of processing power. I think it's 6 teraflop graphics. I think processing power. I can't remember, but it's up there for sure. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to touch on today's talk is what you think that the future of console generations will look like. Like I was saying, how you're seeing these like mid-generation console upgrades. We've even heard people on both the Microsoft and the Sony side say that in the future they could see consoles being a lot more similar to PC, to where instead of having these generations when whole new consoles come out where they're big upgrades, instead you'll be seeing these upgraded models come out every couple of years or so, to where maybe you just upgrade certain parts to it or things like that. There's actually this article on Engadget that I just want to touch on, just read a couple things from it. And this article actually came out back when the PS4 Pro was first announced, so this was back in last year. Aaron Greenberg, head of Xbox Games Marketing, said back in last August, quote, "We think the future is without console generations. We think that the ability to build a library, a community, to be able to iterate with the hardware, we're making a pretty big bet on that with Project Scorpio. We're basically saying this isn't a new generation. Everything you have continues forward and it works. We think of this as a family of devices. So that's pretty much like what I was just saying right now. Uh, is that you'll just see uh, iterative upgrades of hardware instead of in the past when you would see a new console generation come out, it was a whole new model. You know, it was a whole new huge. It was another generational leap above it. Homicidal Lou says it rumors 4K graphics. Yeah, the Project Scorpio is rumored to actually be true 4K. The PS4 Pro 4K, from what I've heard, it's pretty much like an upscale. It's some kind of different kind of technical wizardry that they do with the PS4 Pro to like upscale it to 4K or whatever it is. But what's rumored with the Project Scorpio is true 4K, where it's not like an upscaled 4K. So once again, that's just another thing that just kind of remains to be seen. So we'll have to see once we finally get to see gameplay running on the Scorpio, which hopefully we'll get at E3 in June. That's kind of what the what the rumors are at this point. Continuing with this article, it says even back in March, Xbox boss Phil Spencer compared the future of consoles to the PC market. He said, quote, "We can effectively feel a little more like what we see on PC, where I can still go back and run my old Doom and Quake games that I ran so many years ago and still see the best new 4K games come out, and my whole library is always with me." And that's another thing that is really important with mentioning the Pro and the Scorpio is that both of the consoles, even the Scorpio, is going to be what they call forward compatible as well. So all your current Xbox One games will play on the Scorpio as well. So that's another thing that you're seeing with these kind of mid-generation upgrades is that, like I was saying, it's not a whole new uh, generational leap to where where you would need backwards compatibility and all that to play the games. Uh, Phil Spencer and the people on Xbox they've been stressing it really vehemently about that the Scorpio and the Xbox One are a family of consoles. They're not leaving any players behind or anything like that. So, like I said, all your Xbox One games will play on the Scorpio. I'm sure that developers will probably be rolling out patches and updates that similar to what you're seeing with the PS4 Pro right now. So it's definitely an exciting time to be a gamer. Homicidal Lou also mentioned a little bit ago, there's rumors that the PS4 and Xbox One are doing cross-platform. I wanted to touch on this as well. I did read a little while ago about a rumor going around that Xbox was trying to contact Sony about a possibility of having PS4 and Xbox One cross-platform. I think there was an article in a magazine. It might have been Game Informer, but I don't want to. Don't quote me on it. I'm not positive, but where they actually wrote an article about it, and their opinion was that in the future they think this eventually will happen. But so far it seems like Sony isn't really ready to quite play ball with it. But you are seeing cross platforms between Xbox One and Windows 10, and that's been really successful so far. You've been seeing it with Microsoft first party games such as Gears of War 4 and ReCore that were that you could play on both your Xbox and Windows 10 capable PC. Yeah, and Homicide Lou said that he's done Xbox One and Windows 10 cross-platform, and it works perfectly. Yeah, and that's good to hear. And you would like to think that it would, with them both being Microsoft products. Homicidal Lou says, if Microsoft does the same with Scorpio as they did with Xbox One, then it will be the console of consoles. They jumped from low graphics and low memory from 360 and skipped a lot of graphics updates to the latest at the time Xbox One was being developed. That's true. Yeah, that's very true. And it's also it's kind of you have to give credit to Microsoft as well with what they've been able to do with the Xbox One as well. Because when the Xbox One first launched, when it very first launched, it pretty much stumbled out of the gate. It it fell right on its face on the way out. But they have really turned things around. At the end of last year, they were even the best-selling console a couple months in a row. Homicidal Lou says if they do that with Scorpio, then it will be a high seller for sure. I think so too. I mean, one thing that a lot of people are really, I mean, one thing that you're hearing that people in the industry are kind of questioning about is the price point that the Scorpio is going to roll out at. If it is this powerful, it has this much technology in it. What's the price point going to be? I mean, I've seen podcasts and industry debates and all this where some people think that it's going to be like it'll still be like in the $400 range. Some people think even 500. Um, yeah, Homicide Lou says it will be high. Yeah, I think so too. I was just gonna say I think it's gonna at least be in the 500 range probably. I mean, because the PS4 Pro I think is still currently 400. Um, both the PS4 and the Xbox, I think they were both 400 when they both launched originally. So I can see the Scorpio being probably no less than 500 and no more than 600 US. Uh, Homicidal Lou is actually in the UK, so I don't know. I'm not entirely. I can't remember what the exchange rate is, so I'm not sure what it would be over there. But um, I would be really surprised if it's 400. I mean, I kind of wouldn't be totally shocked, but I would definitely be pretty surprised. Uh, every interview that I've seen with Phil Spencer and all that, every time he talks about the Scorpio, you could tell he keeps stressing it that it's a premium product. That it's a really special, high grade, high end piece of technology. So it seems like he's almost kind of bracing you for a high price point. You got the graphics, memory combined with the CPU and cooling system. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, yeah. Just when you look at the specs, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. Um, so pretty much keeping it in line with the topic of today's talk, like I'm really interested to see what the future holds for console generations. Like I was saying, it's I mean that this trend has been picking up it's not really like a new trend. I mean, we've been seeing it over the last couple console generations. I was just looking online. We're actually in the uh, eighth generation of consoles right now. I mean, there's the Atari, NES, Super NES, a Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. So, there's 8 right there. Um, did I not even put in Sega Genesis in there and Dreamcast and all that, right? So, yeah, there's a lot. But over the last couple, Homicide Lou says 400 US dollars comes to 311.67 GBP. What is a uh, GBP? Because I normally when I see it like over in the UK, isn't it like euro? Isn't it euros that it's in? GBP is that like Great Britain pounds? Is that pounds probably? Maybe I don't know. I'm I'm really bad. I've never been to Europe, so. Um, but yeah, I mean, we've been seeing these kind of mid-generation upgrades for the last couple of generations. I mean, even the PlayStation 2 had the PlayStation Slim uh, come out later. Oh, GBP. Okay, it's Great British Pounds. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so if it's 400, if it would be if it's 400 US dollars, then that's yeah, 311 .67 pounds, Great British Pounds. Huh. Yeah, I really, yeah, I don't think I could really see it being any less than 500 US, especially if the PS4 and the Xbox were 400. I think even the PS3 when it first launched was might have been 400. I don't think it was 3. I don't know if anyone else in Europe don't use euros like the UK. Yeah, I'm not sure because I know there's I mean, isn't francs? Isn't that France? I think maybe the French use francs. I can't remember, but yeah, there's some others over there. I think. Yeah. We'll have to talk about that uh, during the stream after we're done with this. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today's talk on the Daily Dose. Bottom line, I'm just really interested to see what the future of the console generations are going to be like. I wonder if we are eventually going to see the console landscape change more into kind of like how it is with PC, like Aaron Greenberg and Phil Spencer from Xbox have said that they think it's going to be in the future. So as far as Sony's concerned, I haven't really found a lot of content talking about Sony's impressions of the future. I mean, obviously they're kind of, they did the same thing. As soon as Microsoft started talking about the Scorpio, all of a sudden, boom, they hurry and got the PS4 Pro out. Honestly, at the time, I think Sony might have rushed it a little too much. I mean, the PS4 Pro is an awesome machine. It's a great console, but I don't know. I mean, it literally came out. By the time the Scorpio comes out, it's going to be almost about a year before. So I don't know if that means that, maybe we see the PS5 before we see the actual next Xbox 2. I don't know if that's what they're going to call the next one or not. That one's another topic for another day for sure. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's edition of the Daily Dose. If you want to catch these talks, they're at the beginning of my stream every day, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, and then on the weekends, usually around noon Mountain Time, we start and that's at twitch.tv/soldieronly. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button to like the video, sub to the channel for more content, and we will see you tomorrow.